Welcome to Us versus Movies. I'm your host for this episode, Dustin, and I'm joined by my co-host extraordinaire, Kevin.
Hey.
There it is. There's a warm welcome. That's as warm as this podcast is gonna get, because it's the New Mutants 2020. Should have been released in 2018. It was filmed in 2017, I think. And PG-13, hour 34 minutes. Action, horror, sci-fi, all of those are debatable. Definitely. The horror part, directed and co-written by Josh Boone with an E on the end. And then co-written by Kanat Lee with a K at the beginning. And starring a bunch of assholes. Just to get that out of the way. Obviously, a Marvel comic movie of sorts.
In association with Marvel Comics.
The in association part was so large. It was the largest format, like font. Just to remind you, they're like, hey, listen, we fucking released this movie, okay? Because it was in the can, and it had a lot of reshoots, and then it had some more reshoots. But we are just loosely associated with it. If it makes some money, that's where the association comes.
Well, it had a lot of problems too. I mean, it's like $80 million, right? Mm-hmm. And tons of reshoots, tons of like a lot of directional problems of like, hey, we want it to be like this. We need an editor. We need to do that. And then like tonally, they wanted it to kind of be more spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, because I remember that first trailer was like a slasher film. Like, you couldn't even see anything. It was so fucking dark. I just thought these kids were running around in a fucking abandoned insane asylum. It was so fucking dark. And then someone at Fox apparently saw that and was like, what? No, this is like, what? I can't see what's happening to these. Are they mutants or what is this? But yeah, I definitely remember it was supposed to be more horror themed than I feel it turned out. But oh man, should we cover some of the people in this movie? There's only like fucking six, so
there's like a couple of first timers in there too, right? Like the Blue Hut, that chick, the
Blue Hut.
Girl?
Blue Hunt.
Girl, sorry.
I was like, who the hell is Blue Hut?
Oh, sorry.
Is that her first? I mean, that would explain
BLU. I don't know how else you say that.
Yeah, it was the fact that you said Hut before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's definitely not new. I mean, she might have been new when she filmed this. I
think they're all retired now with children. This is how long this was.
Yeah, seriously. And then where was that one guy? Is he from Stranger Things now?
One of them, Cannonball was from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Disappointing Ball is what I would call him. Yeah, he can just go right back to Stranger Things. If I could never hear his Kentucky accent again, that would be great.
He's from across the pond, man. He was trying.
Oh, man, that sucks so bad. Another person who's across the ponds is Macy Williams, everyone's favorite Game of Thrones actress that once again delivered a underwhelming performance, in my opinion, as Rain Sinclair. And then there's Anya Taylor-Joy, who is in The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, and I was really looking forward to seeing that, but now, after seeing this performance, will likely never watch that, ever again. And then Henry Zaga as Sunspot, / we never actually that, so who gives a fuck? And he was a beefcake. I'm not gonna lie, he was beefy.
What?
He was beefy. He was dreamy, Kevin.
Oh, I was like, he wasn't big. He was in shape, but he wasn't like he wasn't fucking shredded or swole or anything. I was like, dude, is this the real Colossus?
He was toned and
He's in
chiseled in
shape.
all the right places for sure.
Yeah, okay. We got a love connection. I get it.
No, I mean, I was very smitten with him. I was like, hello, what are you
What
doing,
will
son?
he do next besides steal my heart?
Yeah, apparently also being The Stand, which is what these two asshole writer directors are working on, which I have zero hope and faith in The Stand remake now.
From the
Not that I
Stephen
had much
King
to get.
Bible, that big ass book.
Yeah, yeah. And then the underappreciated Adam Beach, who is just unfortunately like if Hollywood needs a Native American, they just
He's-
instantly go to him, and
Yeah.
it's that's 100,000% what they did in this one, like even more so than Wind Talkers. So, and he's allowed to talk, I think, twice. And I was just like, wow, you're actually a really talented actor. And
yeah, I think
they
so.
were like, fuck that guy. He's dead now to us as a character. So Kevin, I don't know. I mean, obviously I have more familiarity with these characters perhaps than you, but
yeah, didn't they come?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, didn't they all come around in like 1980s? This is Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod.
Yeah.
This is all. They're all.
And then repopularized by the one and the only Rob Liefeld. So.
Yeah, which one is his? And they didn't use them. I was. Because Rob created one, and I was like, oh, did they use one of Robbie's? And then they're like, nope. And I was like, you bastards.
Yeah, he got real butthurt about that. I still think I think he technically got paid for the title, though. Because I want to say that's one of his titles. So he got,
He got
Oh, this started filming, and this was finished in 2017.
Wow.
It was supposed to follow It. The first part of
Well,
It.
yeah, like, I know, like, I mean, it would just had problems left and right, because then they were just like, Disney was like, hey, man, that's ours now. And everyone was
we're
like,
not doing this shit.
well, no, I guess they debated for like a half of a second to make it part of that continuum. But I was like, well, I'm sorry, everyone. The Marvel universe,
Yeah,
extended movie. Yeah, and then I guess it never really happened. Disney was kind of like, we don't know what to do with this. We don't hate it, but we don't want to friggin' deal with it. So.
Yeah, they basically came to a point where they were like, just put it out there, and like so much money was kind of just wrapped in it. They were like, just fucking get it out. Like so much Fox stuff was bombing already too.
Yeah,
that they were just kind of like, we don't actually need this to do anything. So.
Well, yeah, Disney was probably like, is this Dark Phoenix? And they're like, no, that already. And they're like,
that already came and shit the bed.
Disney was like, did you guys see that? And everybody's like, no, man, we didn't see that. They're like, dude, Dark Phoenix, right? And everybody's like, is this? They're like, no,
I watched Dark Phoenix.
They're like, dude, this is New Mutants. He's like, but not Dark Phoenix, right? Because you guys don't have anything left. We have everything. And they're like, no, dude, it's the mutants.
Like, listen, I'm not looking forward to. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm partially looking forward to an X-Men reboot, just because I don't think they will fucking do all the same shit Fox already did, thankfully. But I'm not looking forward to that Disney Marvel formula just having its nuts rubbed all over the X-Men and mutants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking forward to that, but I would like to see them not do what they did here ever again. Because if I don't know, did you know anything about Danny Moonstar, Kevin, before this movie?
The Native American girl that makes the boogities come. Yeah. Odd choice of making her the main protagonist, I guess.
Very odd, considering she's a completely underwhelming
Z-list character.
She's a Z-list fucking mutant, and that's saying something, because there's a guy who looks like an exoskeleton of a bird, okay? And his name's fucking Bird Boy or some shit.
He's like, what, dude?
Grant Morrison was like, how about we have like a bird that just like popped out of an egg, it's like looking all sickly and shit, but it's kind of like skeletal, and we make that a mutant. And then Marvel's just like, hey man, you're Grant Morrison. You do whatever and just tank our franchise into the fucking toilet. Okay, just do it. Just do it.
Why would so? I
But
read a couple of New Mutants. They call them comics, where all these movies are coming from, and I couldn't really get into it. But I thought to myself, I was like, where's Nathaniel Gray? Where's X-Man? And his like, I don't wear a shirt. Check out my body. Like, where's he at?
he's not in the New Mutants. They brought him back for a spell. So he can't exist at the same time as Rachel Summers. So when she's in the continuum, he's not.
Okay.
And then when he is, then she's not. It's really...
I'll accept that as a comic book answer. And where was... I remember being a very noticeable character was Warlock, right?
Yeah, that's probably the one that...
He sounds expensive.
For sure. Very expensive. Front. And they had to spend all that on some bullshit. But I'm pretty sure that's the one Liefeld probably created that they didn't include. Also, Warlock is annoying. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty fucking annoying, and you got to explain a lot of backstory to why he's there.
It might open the world a little too much.
It definitely would. Like that's honestly like a good big story. Like just him coming to be. Would be a good... It kind of like what they tried to do in Avengers Ultron, where they're like, here's how Vision comes to life. And you're like, oh, okay, a whole movie for this shit? This is dumb. It'd be kind of like that, only hopefully not dumb. But
wait, do you mean Bird Brain?
Is that his name? I don't... I try to not
block him
remember. Yeah, because he just...
Sucks all kinds of butts.
And then he got kind of... I mean, he impregnated. I'm going to put it that way. I don't know what the relationship... A African American woman who was, and this is not me. This is Grant Morrison. His take on what perhaps a woman from like the ghettos of New York would talk like. Yeah, it was not great. So, and then they just try to like run roughshod on Xavier Academy. They're like, yeah, we fucking run this shit now. We got these ugly little bird babies around, and I was just like, God, stop! I'm gonna fucking vomit just looking at him. Oh my God. And then he was like, I named her Angel because she's anything but. And I was like, fuck you, Grant Morrison. Fuck you. Put Wolverine in those tight jeans and then just call it a day. That's not even you. That's Mark Silvestri. He just did it because he liked you. He's like, I'm going to put Wolverine in the tightest fucking jeans for you, Grant.
Are those Bugle Boys you're wearing?
You know it. I'm fucking Wolverine. It's the only thing that can contain these cheeks. So
holler at your boy.
Someone's like, please start talking about this movie. And it should tell you everything in the world that we don't want to.
Stupid assholes.
If you know what Danny Moonstar's powers are, though, this movie will be incredibly boring for you. Because I know.
Dustin, I will argue, if you don't know what Moonstar's powers are, this movie is incredibly boring.
I know, but imagine, Kevin, knowing the entire crux of the story already, and you're just waiting to I was just waiting to get to the end. Nothing was anything that I didn't expect or see coming a mile away, because I was just
probably
like, all these people's characters and you're all only doing surface level shit.
Probably one of the worst things about the movie is that point, right? You're making a comic book movie ideally for comic book fans and the norms, which I kind of think are just superhero movie fans now. And that's a thing, right? So when it comes to such a pivotal plot point that basically pushes your whole movie forward, but I'll say almost all the audience that's probably even interested in this would go, hey, it's her. And when, and when she's sedated or not conscious or anything, it really kind of flares up and it kind of goes crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the Dream Warriors? Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was supposed to be the second one, where the same girl can kind of get Freddy all riled up and horny and shit, and he shows up and he wants to start wrecking shit because he's kind of drawn to that girl. Kind of same idea. And like they also have the sessions where they all sit around and talk about their powers. They all have the same sessions where they talk around and, hey, what scares you in your dreams? The boogeyman comes and he's got the claws on his hands. Okay, freak. That's funny. I dreamed about the same bird man. It's the same ideas, and I have no problem with that. I will just kind of talk about really quick what I did like about the movie. I thought the horror element was a really great idea. I thought it was super refreshing. I couldn't sit through another formulaic Marvel Disney movie because I hate it. I hate them. I know they're fun, popcorn, blow them up, smashy, smashy. He kicked him in the nuts. Tony Stark's. I get it. But I can't watch it anymore. That's literally like watching the same movie every single time. I can't take it anymore.
It's like you've just watched one movie for 10 years.
That's what it feels like. And I'm tapped out. It's literally broken my spirits. When you told me we were watching this, I was like, God damn it. But then I remembered Fox owned it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get now.
Exactly. That's why I was just like, I'd have to see this. This is the last Fox movie.
Hurrah.
There was 100 reshoots. That's the only time you're gonna get horror. And so we open up with Danny Moonstar narrating. And I'm not gonna lie, Kevin, I was instantly enraged because this is probably one of my favorite story lores, I guess I'll say, that I've ever heard, because I think it's just so poignant to how people live that it always resonated and stayed with me. So it's an old Native American lore of you have two bears. Oh wait, that's not how it goes, but that's what the movie fucking rewrites in fucking 1,000 years of lore. It's supposed to be you have two wolves inside you. One is good, one is evil, basically, and they fight every day. And then the child asks their father, which one wins? And the father says, whichever one you feed more. So if you feed good more, good wins. If you feed bad more, bad wins. And it's so great. And it's been used in comic books a million times, and it works every fucking time. They use it with Wolverine like every fucking 3 years, I feel like. But this movie decides it's now a bear, because we have a bear in our movie. So it has to be a bear. There's two bears inside of you.
You know how much this fucking bear costs us? It's a fucking bear.
This bear cost us our fucking soul. So it's a bear. Everything's a bear now in this fucking movie. Are bears even relevant to Danny's character? Fuck no. We made this shit up for the movie. This was all in the reshoots.
It does, dude, because she has like a little animal cracker around her neck that she wears. She goes, "You want to see this chocolate bear?"
That we could never zoom in to verify it's a bear. That could have been a panther. I don't fucking know.
Is that a cookie?
Yeah, I thought it was a ripped bag, and that was just the top of it. Like, I was like, what is that?
Yeah,
it's a bear?
It's kind of this weird blobby shape. I was like, is that
a
prop to motivate my character?
Yeah, like a close up to see this bear, never will you get that. So don't expect that. But then we don't even finish this rewrite of the fucking two wolves. We are / now two bears. We are interrupted by Danny being woken up by her house shaking and her father saying, "We've got to run."
Oh, really quick, Dustin, when you mentioned the narration that to begin with, like I said, not being as familiar with the characters, I was really kind of disappointed in her voice, as it felt like she was just reading a line. And if this is the first thing that you're showing me in the movie, like I felt like it needed a little bit more intensity, like a more like a more passionate read, I guess. There should have been so much conviction in her voice. Like, this is my mantra. I'm ready to die. This is how I live my life.
Like, Kevin, you have an Oscar caliber actor playing the father, and his voice is not only memorable, but also booming and deep. And I don't know, you probably could have done a flashback where he's telling the daughter for the first time the story. I mean, that's just me. Just a suggestion on what would have improved this 100%. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I was pissed off, and I was just like, man, like, why even bother? because we're only going to come back to this. We're going to book in with this narration, everybody, just so you know. And I already told you what she says. Like, it's supposed to be a surprise, I guess. I don't know. I was like, weird cliffhanger surprise there. But so the house is shaking. She's on the run with her father. We don't know what's happening. We hear like growling, and people are dying.
You're led to believe it's like a tornado, a hurricane, some sort of force of
it's
nature.
Snowing,
wind.
so I never thought it was a hurricane. I was like, are you guys gonna bring out the Wendigo for some reason? I was like, did she create the Wendigo? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like,
and then
I totally
Dazzler shows up and blasts him in the nuts.
Hey, you fucking white bastard gorilla!
Wendigo sad.
Wendigo, I'm a fucking scientist, you asshole! Don't blast me in the balls.
Wendigo gotta go.
Wendigo just fucking relieves himself on top of Dazzler. She's like, "Oh, come on, this isn't dazzling or But just like, what?
Like, yay, comics.
Fuck you, Dazzler. She's like, I'll just roller skate on out of here. Oh, I fucking one-hit single in the fucking 80s. Only in the comics, though.
Dude, Dazzler, Boom Boom, Jubilee. That's my trifecta. I'd put them together, and I would just make a romp.
Oh, dude, yeah, you just make them the new Charlie's Angels. Done.
That's all I would do, man. When they're popping bubble gums, hanging out in bikinis, can't get nothing right, always bickering. But the second this shit goes down, the lights start flashing. You get Tourette's and shit. You're falling off.
Only light, yeah. It's the fucking new Tetris. You're just like, what level am I on? Stop turning the lights out on me, goddamn.
Everybody's like, these girls fucking us up. This is sick. I can't see shit.
Is this a John Wick level? I'm so confused. It's just like, no, It's just them blasting you with fireworks. Like, it doesn't really hurt. You just kind of get knocked over.
What happened to all my fellow criminals? My eyebrows are singed. Those girls just stopped a mud hole in my nutsack. Were they X-Men or something?
Ex-women, maybe.
Yeah, she just pops her bubble gum. She's like,
which one? Because
they all do it at the same time. The whole fucking crowd's like, yeah, these are my girls.
Are they all chewing different colored gum?
Like, hell yeah, dude. Now you're getting it.
Pink, blue, yellow.
And I'd have it real just obnoxious neon just everywhere and shit. And just,
they're always like, I'm really coming around on the side.
When they're roller skating on the fucking down by the Santa Monica Pier, and they're just kicking their shit out of just fucking people wearing leather jackets.
Okay, I gotta step in. Okay, only Dazzler would roller skate. Jubilee's on roller blades because come on, she's
clearly
the 90s.
My bad.
And Boom Boom, she's gonna board it. She's got a little fucking penny board.
Okay, I get it. They're shredding. How about that? They're shredding.
They're all shredding.
And then some like scumbag dudes try to hit on them. Hey, ladies, I see you over there buying some corn dogs. Well, guess what I got for you? And all the friends are like, whoa.
Oh, he's going to say fucking dick.
And then they all pull down their sunglasses, look over the top, look at each other, and just nuke the whole pier. Just the guys go flying. Dude, I would write the shit out of this. It would just be
you have to be like the CG department's just like, so it's just all fireworks and shit like the whole time.
And I was like yeah, man.
They all use fireworks.
Yeah,
well, one's purple, one's like a lot of yellows and blues. And the other one, it's like purple and yellows and blues.
They're just listening to 80s.
Do a lot of fireworks, okay?
They're listening to 80s rap, 90s glam. Like, they're just got everything just going.
Dazzler's just singing her one single over and over. And was like, no one knows this song, okay?
Jubilee remixes it. She's like, what do you want to do? She's like, let's hit this outdoor mall. And they just start shredding. It's like, dude, these chicks are sick.
The mall cops just like, fuck, these girls are back again. They're like, do something. They're shredded everywhere. He's like, no, they're mean, and I don't like it. I don't like dealing with them. Some
dude in a sweatpants, a sweatshirt, and a ski mask runs out with bags. He's stolen people's purses. They just fuck him up.
They don't even use their power. They're just like beating him senselessly with their fucking rollerblades and skateboards.
Excuse me, women. He's had enough. How can you tell? He ain't breathing. I ain't a doctor. Dead. But that blood is coming from every hole the man's got.
And he's got a lot of extra holes.
And they all pop their bubble gum. Let's get it popping. And they start kicking the shit out of him.
He's like, It's because I called you girls, isn't it?
Yeah, man. That's I'd make that a movie, a comic book, and of course a cartoon.
Dude, Marvel could probably benefit from a comic book like that. Just
I'd make it for like kind of like little girls, preteens or whatever. Just give them
I'd
some
just make it
fucking
for everyone. Like
yeah, fuck it.
This is rated E for everyone.
Except for the violence.
Except for the violence. Well, we'll do the E cut and then we'll do the M cut, where it's like 15 extra pages of them just beating people senselessly.
That's not in this movie at all, everyone. I'm very sorry.
That's not. I don't even think I got far this movie. So she's in the woods. Her dad puts her in the most convenient tree hole ever, and he's just like, "Wait here," and she's like, "Don't leave me," and he's just like, "I gotta help other people," and you're like,
"What was he gonna do?"
Yeah, I don't get hit apparently and die 2 seconds later.
Talk shit, get hit.
Yeah. He just comes flying back. He leaves, yells, and comes flying back dead. And
it was like a tornado. It's like a weird winter tornado, Wendigo thing happening, and you were just like, "I'm gonna whoa,
fucking this sucks. I'm dead."
Yeah.
And then so Danny starts running. She's running through the woods, and then she snaps her fucking neck when she falls, and I was like, "She's dead. What the fuck?" This movie's over. She died right there. Like right when she landed on her neck like that. Is that stunt person okay? Or are they dead? Because my guess is dead. But they kept the shot. They were like, R.I.P. Martha. You sealed the deal with that fucking stunt. And then she bonks her noggin on a convenient rock at the end of her long fall. And it's just like, okay, now we're going to wake up in a hospital. So with what I thought was a little boy looking through a vent at her. Turned out.
Yeah, me too. I was like, is this?
I was just like, what?
I was like, what is that? Is that a creature?
Little boy? What's up there? And so the little boy disappears, and spoiler, turns out not to be a little boy. But that's what it looks like. You can't tell.
No,
you just see
like literally in the vid, I second that. I was like, is this Garbage Pail Kids a movie? Yeah, that's how creepy I got. I was like, creepy. This is a horror movie.
I was just like, who's the little boy character all of a sudden? What the fuck? And then so she's just handcuffed to a bed, very calmly, just drags this hospital bed around, trying to figure out where she is. Why
too calm.
Potato sack. Way too calm, especially for a young girl who's handcuffed to a bed.
Handcuffed to a bed.
Freaking the fuck out.
Hey, been there, done that. But I'm handcuffed to a bed. I think I waxed my noodles so hard I could be concussed 3 days from Sunday. Did my dad just burn up and die and fly in front of me?
Yeah, did my dad just fucking get hit for being
shit
on? Yeah, for talking shit to the whole tribe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not really established where they were to begin with, but yeah. And she's just like, I saw my dad die, and I'm just in a hospital looking
for souls.
Yeah.
Starts playing.
And then so she finally figures out there's a camera watching her. And she's just like, "Hey, fuckers. I'm awake. If you can't tell by the way I'm bouncing this fucking bed off the walls."
Doesn't it cut to like the CCTV like monitors that are all stacked up creepily but stupidly over? Because I was like, dude, what?
I mean, I don't know if it does at this point, but it definitely does it enough to where it doesn't matter if it's not.
It does it about a dozen times in this movie at the really most inopportune times.
And sometimes it doesn't even show you if anyone's watching them, and you think like maybe that was some leftover horror elements that it was going to keep of just showing how they love to show you just the monitors but no one watching them in modern horror.
The overlay on the monitors, and it kept zooming in saying that she has power that's untapped.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they do it damn near every time, and
until they don't need to do it anymore.
Did it look awful, or did it look really cheap?
It looks super cheap. It didn't make much sense because I was like, why? Of course you don't know. Why would a little computer zooming in with a camera know what her power was.
Yeah, does she like have to do it?
And then it just kept doing. And then when her power was displaying, it was still like, I don't know, man. I got nothing. The fucking algorithm sucks today.
Could be some sort of psychokinetic energy coming off her. I'm just using words I've seen on the internet.
Or it could be some bloating. I don't know. She just become a lady mutant for the first time. You know, I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how this shit works. I'm just a fucking computer.
So how come in horror movies or superhero movies, when a girl becomes a woman and Mother Nature slides into the picture, that's when their powers kick in? So why don't guys have that same thing? I think guys should be just male superhero characters should be just be walking around with fucking boners that can't go down. And they're just
boners that can't go down, waking up with wet sheets from their wet dreams. They're just like, man, I fucking need to wash my sheets again. Fucking, what's happening to my body?
Yeah, because fucking, I don't get it.
Possibly because, I don't know, two men wrote this and they were like, well, we're not going to shame we're going to shame the dudes.
No dudes are pitching tents in this movie. Guarantee.
Not unless they're together alone in the laundry room.
Guarantee. Or wait, no. Fuck it.
Whatever. Yeah, and so then we meet Dr. Reyes, who...
Dr. Reyes. That's what I thought when I saw it.
From the comic, and the minute I heard her full name, I was like, don't tell me it's that character. And then so I looked it up, and sure enough, it is Celicia Reyes. And oh my God, Kevin, talk about 180 on comic versus movie. This fucking character is nothing like the comic book, like at all, to where I don't even know why they decided to name her. It's such a like horrible thing to do to another Z-list character where you're just like, oh man, that's
what's the difference? Is she mean in the comic books? Then
she's not mean at all. She doesn't even want to be a superhero. They just kind of recruit her. She is an actual doctor before she gets her powers.
She's not a vet tech.
She's Latin. She was like one of the first Latin American ones that they had. And she specializes in trauma surgery. And she can do the force field thing. Very true. But she was never, working for the quote unquote bad guys or whatever.
Her, what was it? What did she call it? Her, not supplier, her employer.
Her employer. Like I don't remember.
Just kept referencing it, and I was just like, "Yeah, dude, I already know who it is." And I don't even read this shit. I know who it is.
Yeah, and they try so ham-fisted to make you think it's Xavier, and it's like, no, no.
What? I didn't even pick that up. Really? I guess
because he does that when he's in the wheelchair. He's like, "Who do you think it is?" And then he
okay,
the wheelchair.
Well, in all honesty, if you don't know anything else, you just know X-Men.
Yeah, and they say X-Men a lot too. They're like, I don't even want to be a superhero. And I was just like, oh man, you kids are dumb. That's why you're here. You're dumb.
School for the dumb.
Yeah, this is a fucking school for the dipshit dumbasses, with powers. But so Reyes comes in. She kind of, is like, hey, your family was killed in a tornado. You're a mutant. And you're here to not hurt anyone else, basically.
Dinner's at 6.
Yeah, let me show you your room. Here's some clothes. Get out of that burlap sack that we put you in. Official hospital gowns, burlap sack. And then it's just like, okay, now let's go meet the other shithead mutants. We're doing circle time, and you're just like, how many people are in this hospital? Like
5.
You guys? Yeah, it's just 6 counting the doctor.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I noticed that too, and she didn't. No one ever addressed that they're the only ones there. There's no security. There's no orderlies. There's no other doctors. There's no other nurses. There's no dudes fucking mopping the place. There's no janitors. There's nobody.
It's a very clean place too.
Yeah, there's no one to, except for Sunspot. He's always doing the dishes. It's like, who's cooking?
I was like,
who's cooking?
Did he cook? I mean, and why did he make so much? And why does it still look like shit ass food? If you're just cooking for like fucking 5 people, make something good. Why are you making a giant vat of peas, you asshole.
I didn't see. So why is the rich, privileged kid cooking? He probably shouldn't know how to cook anything in his life. Wouldn't he have like maids and servants? And why is he always doing the dishes? What are
I
you
don't know.
eating? This is
He
a
was
Hot
just
Pocket
doing
team. These guys are eating Hot Pockets and pizza rolls.
Oh, they're
not
definitely
dirty.
hot pockets.
They're not
I mean, they were
dirty
fucking
dishes.
watching Buffy reruns, like, and I don't know even know if they were reruns. I was just like, why is Buffy the only thing on this fucking TV?
In the background, in one of the scenes, they have the DVDs on one of the bookcases.
Oh, okay.
I know that because my brother had the
shitty.
DVDs, so I recognized them.
I didn't pay attention. I was, just fading in and out of this movie at times.
You were too busy, like, is it Spike in this one?
Like, I'm really more of a Spike guy over Angel. Angel kind of had a longer career and got a lot more annoying in real life and stuff. So, I mean, did you watch Bones? Fucking unwatchable. Just unwatchable. But yeah, this is the part where we meet the rest of the mutants, right, Kevin? She goes to the circle. Or they're starting the circle, right? And she's just like...
Cannonball, Magic, Wolfsbane, Sunspot?
Yeah.
Her?
And her, yeah. They're all...
That's it, right?
They're all there. Cannonball's got a broken arm.
Dustin, who am I thinking of? Who was in Alpha Flight?
Puck.
Puck. Fuck. You know who would make a great Puck? If you ever watch AEW wrestling, there's a wrestler named John Silver. Just look him up, Google him, and you go, that's my motherfucking Puck. Make that movie right now.
I mean, Puck just bounces off a shit.
Dude,
like
he's
a
small.
Puck.
He's huge. He's shredded. I was like, that's John Silver. John Silver is Puck. Make the movie. That's all.
No one
That's
wants
all
an Alpha Flight movie.
I
did
did.
even get that comic book not to be canceled. Okay, they try every year. I feel like they try. Someone's gonna like, all right, hear me out. I got an Alpha Flight pitch, and they're just like, God damn it, fucking whatever. We'll try, but it's gonna get canceled. And he's like, no, they'll love it. They'll love it this time.
My Alpha Flight pitch would be they know they're going to get canceled, so they got to do everything they can to not get canceled. Real bad.
Sadly, Kevin, they have something similar to that.
Did it work?
It got canceled.
Ah.
I mean, they said it was a miniseries, but it wasn't. So.
Miniseries in the comic world mean you didn't make the monies.
Yeah, spoiler, anything that's 4 issues is a miniseries. If it's 6, that's cancellation. So, yeah, so we're going around the circle. She's like, you guys got to fucking talk to get better to get out of here. And I was like, I don't believe this is a real hospital. I don't know why they do either. I've been here for 20 seconds and I know this is all bullshit. So
it's like take Cuckoo's Nest and Dawson's Creek and go watch those instead. That's what you get when you get this movie.
Yeah. And so then what's her fucking face?
Magic?
Lack of charisma, Reyes Sinclair. She starts telling about her past, of like her first time she remembers being a mutant and how free she felt. And you get this actually probably the best visual of the fucking movie of a VOP of fucking
POV?
POV. There we go. I don't know. Video on Prime, I think was the other one.
Everybody's like, woo!
I was like, what? No. POV of a wolf running, and it's kind of because they don't also they think they're clever and they don't want to reveal that she's a wolf yet, even though they totally do in like 35 seconds. But they're just like, oh, what's her power still? And then she just kind of walks through her story, and then Danny interrupts, and I don't know. And then like the most annoying character in the entire movie, Ilyana Rasputin, Colossus's little sister, a fan favorite for reasons I will never understand, because she's done absolutely dick all in the comic books other than being missing and dying of the legacy virus. Like that was it. That's her big claim to fame, in my opinion.
I think she looks cool.
She does look cool. Like don't get me wrong, and I think that's the only thing people like about her.
Yeah, when she's in full gimmick, like it's cool. Like I saw it, I was like, that's cool.
Well, so, all right, I'm gonna get into that in just a second, Kevin, because that's the weird. No, actually, I'm just gonna go in. That's the weird thing about this movie is a lot of this is Chris Claremont when Chris Claremont wrote it. And then the rest of it is like 2 years ago, or well, not 2 years. All right,
like cherry pick.
3 years ago, where they are with their powers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a weird cherry pick, but hers in particular, like she didn't have those powers and the sword and shit until like way later into the comic books.
Mm.
But then they like flash back to her origin. They're like, we're just gonna give it to her, and I'm like, but there's a reason she got all that sword and shit, and it was because of the time she spent missing. So you just like got there, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Is that weird. It's like anything, like it's typical comic book movie. They want to pick the most fun one, right? The most visually entertaining, the most that people that don't know anything about her. If she didn't have all that, they're gonna be like, she's weird. She just talks to her stuffed animal dragon all the time, and
that's the other thing. That's the weird thing about her character. So she also didn't get Loki until way later in the comic books, because Loki's actually Shadowcat's dragon.
Yeah, I thought
Shadowcat's relationship with Colossus is the reason Illyana gets the fucking dragon for like a year in the comic books, and then
that's what I thought when she was like, "Oh, Lockheed," and I was like, "Oh, Lockheed, he's the dragon from fucking Kitty Pryde," and then I saw him, and I was like,
"Time in Excalibur," where Illyana also spent some time because Chris Claremont as well.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was waiting for him. What I would have done with her to make that, are they crazy? Is this real? Like, what's going on? I would have made it where only she can see Lockheed, where when she looks, he's like real. But when they see her, everyone else sees a stuffed animal. Like, I would have done that, and that would have been more visually interesting, I think. And
for sure,
you use that sparingly, and then when they kind of do the climax, then they can really kind of show off with them a little bit. But I was like, she's just you make our character she's forced to walk around with this puppet, like the stuffed animal, and it didn't match her character and the way she carries herself to have this crutch of her childhood be in the form of the stuff. You know what I mean? I just didn't.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I didn't buy it. She would hide that emotion differently. I don't know. It didn't click for me. But she's cool looking.
Yeah, she's cool looking, and like here's the thing: we go around the room and we meet all these people, and they're kind of all unlikable people. And when you're trying to introduce new mutant, like no pun intended, new mutants to an audience, I just don't know why you'd go around the room and make all of them unlikable or just kind of like uninteresting.
Yeah, because Sunspot kind of giggles when Danny even gets her full name read because she has a Native American last name. He chuckles. He's like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Well, that's a prickish thing to say." There's no acceptance in this circle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the magic chick, she's just real mean girls out of nowhere. I'm like, there's 5 of you. Calm down.
She's like cranked to 1,000. She's like, how dare you bring in another shit bag with this shit bag pool? We got enough shit in this bag, okay? We don't need any more shit.
I was just like, okay. And then Cannon, he doesn't even say anything, does he? He's just like,
no,
hey.
he doesn't say anything. He just sits there. His character is so weird and off-putting to me, and I didn't understand why they chose this take for him. I'm like, he's not currently working in the mines, right? So why is he still dressed like he's ready to go to work in the mines? Like
it was weird. Like if you're rich, you had your collars popped. If you're a blue-collared worker character, you just had layers and a ball cap. And if you're Wolfsbane, you're just kind of like your sweater.
You have a couple holes in your sweater.
You look poor, like you're kind of raggedy, run down. And I don't know if that was a thing on her metamorphosis mode. Is that the claws go through the sweater? Like, what is that, right?
I don't know, because she apparently just transforms back into clothes when she wants to.
But Sunspot can't. So I didn't kind of understand that. Like, whatever.
And here's another thing about Cannonball. When he's using his power, he can take no damage. Like I forget the fucking word now. but he's impervious to damage, and that's why he can like just go full force, blast into a wall, and not break his fucking neck and die. But then here you show me he has this like black eye that heals up within the scene. FYI, like apparently in the reshoots they were like make it less, a little bit less. All right, now it's gone. And then he has this broken arm, and I'm like, what? Like when I saw that, I was just like, did Sunspot jump his ass or something? Because if he was using his powers, that wouldn't matter. Yeah. Like even if he landed hard while his powers are still going, he'd be fine. Yeah. Like he's still trying to learn it, but this isn't part of his learning curve. Like
typical superhero movie, they're trying to make the powers kind of go into a character and trying to be like, oh, let's give him these character. I don't know. I mean, it really didn't change his motivation. Exactly. It didn't really change him as a character to have that cast arm or broken arm on his.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm not really sure. I just think they thought it looked more spooky, downtrodden, made it because that's another thing.
Well, I get it. It's just to show he didn't have control yet.
But yeah.
They could have done that, like, I don't know, with that other scene that they do.
It's really weird, like the horror aspect. Kudos to that, but as we go further, you'll see that it just really doesn't hold tight because they have powers. You know what I mean? Like, it's a Superman syndrome, right? They can just punch their problems away. So you're like, well, where's the tension now? Where
Yeah. So, and so I think Ileana, who. It's like, it's not even that she's a mean girl. It's like she's all four of them talking at the same time and just beyond rational levels of being mean to someone you just met. Like it just does not make any sense. But
right. Like it doesn't fit because is she the alpha? Is she scared this girl's going to take over? Is she intimidated by her? Does she want to stake her claim to a man? Like what's her reason? Is she just that miserable of a person where because no one else was just like, hey, just ignore her. That's just how she's programmed. You know what I mean? No one says like a throwaway comment of like, yeah, she's just a raspy old crusty bitch. So you just deal with it.
Yeah. I think like one person or like Cannonball says, hey, calm down. Like,
yeah. No one really checks her. Cannonball says one thing. And I think Wolfsbane's just kind of like, yeah, she's just a whatever. And I was just like,
does that.
Yeah. We just accept it.
And so she's forced to take Ileana is forced to take Danny on a tour of the school.
To see all the empty, hollowed halls. Yeah. It's a hospital. It's not even a school.
Yeah, and Danny asks some good questions, like, how many people are here? What's going on?
Where am I?
Where am I? And she's just like, oh, these are good questions. I'm not going to answer any of them. Even if I was a nice person, I wouldn't answer any of them because I don't know the answer. But I'm a shithead, so I'm going to be even shittier.
Well, that's the thing. Danny's so stupid, right? Like, just to get to this part, they go out to the fountain, and she's like, you're going to be my spotter, right? And she's like, where are we? And
I was like, where'd you get this spray paint from? Spray paint? And that spray paint disappeared over and over throughout the movie, and it really pissed me off.
And like, she just spray paints the fountain, and it's just like, I don't know, eat a dick or something. And the other girl's like, yeah, okay. Which way's out? Well, they say if you go this way, but about 25 miles or something, there's like a town. And she's like, yeah okay. See my young fertile body run.
No, like, here's the part that drove me insane, Kevin. So when they're on Ileana's side, or maybe it's later you see it, you can see other houses directly next to them.
Those are all haunted and spooky. We don't want to go there.
But I was like, isn't this a town? Look at all these fucking structures. What the fuck are you doing?
That's all abandoned.
I was just like, I think someone forgot to CG them out. So
my problem was...
But anyway,
Danny is just... Yeah. She accepts her situation a little too quickly for me.
Way too quickly, especially for a young girl that just lost her father in front of her.
Yeah, like, where's my dad? Did he survive it? Is he barbecued in a forest somewhere? What was that hurricane tornado?
What does he taste like?
Yeah. Is there chicken?
What type of rubber did you put on him?
Yeah. And then you're like, all right. And then she runs, and then she hits a force field. And you're like, oh, duh. You thought you could escape. And then the fucking Magic runs out. She's just like, suck it. You're so stupid, you girl. I want to take a shit in your bed. You won't even. I'm just like, all right, calm down.
Danny hit so hard, her nose bleeds.
Yeah.
If she turns, I was like, is it broken? How did it bleed? All right, whatever.
Hey man, she's this chick should be concussed again.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
She turns around and she's like, don't fuck with me. Fuck you. And Magic's like, whoa, crazy bitch. And she goes to swing on her and she teleports, right? She snaps to the other world. I was like, is this the Blink? Are you the Blink girl? Did they just
if she could teleport to another world and her power is teleportation, Kevin? Why is she still there? Yeah, why is she still? Why don't you just go to the edge, teleport to the other side, and just be like, bye.
See you later, being this dragon. He's real, by the way, and we're leaving.
He's like, real
that was the thing.
Sometimes
her motivation should have been like, you know what? They're like, you can leave, right? I thought that was going to happen in the movie. She grabs all of them, they go to the other side, and then jump through the other side, her little realm that she can go to. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, dude. And I was like, well. I thought the same thing as you. It was like, why is she still here? They're trapped, but she can get out anyway. And I was like, well, does the force field block her powers? Is she being sedated where her powers aren't full blast? Or if you want to get crazy and build this character up a little bit for your movie, I would say she's too terrified because she doesn't know how to control everything. She's scared they're going to get her, the smiley men or whatever that you see later. Like, this is kind of like not a place she wants to be, but it's a place that she knows she'll be protected in this weird, twisted, like, what is it? Like Munchausen, whatever that thing is, where you kind of like fall in love with your abuser.
Syndrome.
Stockholm, thank you. Like something like that. Like I would have been like, okay, I believe that. She's too scared to leave, and that's why she's so angry and treats everyone like shit because she's scared to death inside and she can't let anybody know it. So she's got to play tough kid the whole time. I would have loved it. I'd been like, I believe all that. That's it. She disconnects with Lockheed, the stuffed animal, and maybe he's not real. And I don't know as a viewer because I don't know comics. I don't get it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, or this like whole plot line that you develop later of like the program and they're grooming him for this program. You could have done something like that where she's just like, a little too heavy into the program already and doesn't want to leave, because she thinks this is where she's supposed to be. Anything that would have been real character development for her instead of just being like, here's her childhood trauma and watch her get over it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Watch her treat everyone like crap, but we just hang out because we're the only people in school. And I was like, well,
we just like her because there's only 5 of us. So.
Yeah, because if they're emotionally or mentally being manipulated, we're like, yeah, you can leave anytime. But if you get out there, you might hurt somebody or yourself, or they might come for you. And then like the doctor should be doing shit like that. And I'd have been like, ooh, doctor's right. Yeah.
Except for Reyes had zero charisma, zero personality.
She was
the most unconvincing.
She was asleep at the wheel, man. Like,
she was just like, let's work on like breathing and control.
I was like, I'm sorry, miss. Did they wake you up to film this scene? Because you are not having it. You're just like, what are we doing? Guys, I need more belief. Do you want to? I was like, shut up. What the fuck?
Yeah. But so, she teleports away, and then Danny's just like walking around.
No, she throws a tantrum, bro. She just saw a girl teleport, and she no-sells it. I'm like, do you know about mutants? Is this a common occurrence? Does the world know about this? Is it? I know they know X-Men, but is it common for her to see someone just disappear into thin air? And just you continue to throw a tantrum? What the fuck? So I was like,
she doesn't respond to anything.
Nothing, like dude. That's why I was just like, is this common? Is it bad to be a mutant, or do we keep it on the hush hush? You know what I mean? Like, is it something
what
like,
mutant world am I in right now?
What is Senator Kelly running things? Are we registering?
He's like, I'm always running things. You need a throwaway storyline for a year? Senator Kelly's your man.
Some girl in red high heels go, no more mutants. And I was like, thank you. This movie's over.
Take away my dead fake robo babies. No more mutants.
So I was
I got daddy issues.
That's the thing. I was like, well, I thought they were trying to like, because the one guy, what's this, Sunspot or whatever, is like, yeah, my parents sent me here in hopes of curing me. So it's kind of a bad thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's always that character in the group, the beast character that's just like, well, I want to be cured. I don't want to be a mutant,
Yeah, clearly. You're Beast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before Beast.
Hank McGross. Did you see those feet, everyone? Oh, now they're blue? Pass. You're disgusting.
Let me see the taint. Oh, fuck, it's huge. It's
Oh.
bushy and grossly blue. You do not wipe properly.
He's a cat man, everybody. Did you know cats show their asshole to you if they trust you? Well,
He's just got his perk up. Although, like, Beast, put some fucking pants on, man. Come on. All right. You cannot be showing your asshole to all the fucking students. All right. We're going to get shut down. And I say that as a fucking rogue school of misfits. So
I speak for all of us.
I speak for all of us. We're going to shut this shit down. Everyone's just going to blow into the wind and die. Okay.
At least put some basketball shorts on. Anything for the love of God.
He's just rubbing his butthole just directly on like Logan's leg. He's like, I trust you. I trust you. And Logan's like, seriously, dude, you have a problem.
Seriously, bub.
Right. Is this like a fourth mutation thing? I know they made that bullshit up too. All right. But like, you got to stop. Okay?
Yeah. His fourth mutation is he gets crystals in his bladder.
His fifth mutation is he got a clipped end of his penis and he has to go through a catheter for the rest of his life. So
he's like, well, this sucks. Sort of like, yeah, man, you should have seen the weird blue cat for so long.
You should have been eating the Whiskas, okay? Because that shit's like junk food for you and it gives you the crystals. You got to eat the wet food. And he's just like, I don't like science diet.
Who pissed on my beanbag?
Hey, I got to go where I can go, okay? It's fucking hard, all right? I got crystals. They're just like, fucking.
That was my gaming beanbag.
What is wrong with Beast?
That's not in this movie, everyone.
That is not. No, it's not in this movie. So instead, what is in this movie is Danny sees a clock tower, and she's like, I don't know what time it is, but I'm going to go figure it out by just teleporting myself up to this clock tower and kicking through some wood, just doing some real property damage.
Property brothers show up and go, that's going to cost you.
They're like, oh, man, we got that insulation spray. It's real good. It's going to cost extra, though. And then she's like ready to jump, and then Wolfsbane is in wolf form and sees her.
Dude, Wolfsbane sits in wolf form for about 45 minutes just staring.
Yeah.
I was like, can we use a different shot?
They're like, no, the CG was expensive. So.
That was a real dog. That was a real wolf.
It was, but it wasn't actually there. It was filmed It was filmed on location somewhere the fuck else, and then
it was.
In. Yeah, and then she just pops up through the hole.
But
great idea. She's just like, hey, let me startle you, so you might just like fall. And she basically knows she's up there to commit suicide, but for whatever weird reason, they just like dance around it. And in the most, here's the thing: I know everyone likes Maisie Williams. I've only seen her in one other thing, and that was Doctor Who, where she sucked the life out of every storyline and episode she was in, and it just became such a disappointing thing to see her on the screen. I was just like, oh no, you're going to ruin this episode. And so hearing her talk and I was just like, you have zero charisma, like zero. I did not believe she wanted to save her life for a second. And she's like, come live another day with me, Danny Moonstar. I was just like, shut the fuck up. Just,
you know what?
Both of you should just jump, okay? And she said it later, and I was like, you should have.
And not one mention about her Lucky Charms. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, no. She only had one Lucky Charm. Her dad gave it to her. Everyone's dad gave him something.
Low-hanging fruit, I pluck thee.
Yeah, you did. You did.
From the supple bosom.
So then they fall on top of each other, and I was just like, oh, okay. So here's the other thing, Kevin. We're also cherry-picking Rain Sinclair becoming a lesbian later on in the comic books, too. And I was just like, wow, man, just give me something. You're just cherry-picking new and old every fucking time. You're like, here's all the old shit, and then here's this one new thing. It's just like, what? Just like... take the new one then. The new one's fully developed character, and then you still have the backstory. Why are you just taking one little, like, drop of the new and just be like, we're taking that? She likes women. we're gonna make a couple lines about her flicking the bean. And I was just like, it was really weird. She like heard people because she's like, and I masturbated twice and I gotta go. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like,
they call me the beaver hunter.
I'll show you how I get down with the real wolfsbane. It's in my crotch.
Sorry, everybody. You can't have a movie where young women are exploring themselves with two dumbasses watching it because we're going to say the same jokes.
It's not like they did it tactfully or tastefully or even like in a proper, like they're having her in a confessional say that. But all right, we're getting too far ahead. So Danny's saved, and then Rain's now actually walking around and showing her the school grounds, or the hospital grounds, I should say. And then we see Cannonball. And here's the one and only time anyone practices using their powers, Kevin. He straps himself into this dipshit harness. And he's tied to a rock, and then he just flies around like a peckerhead. And Rain's just like, I think you tried to die. I was just like,
well, no, Danny was like, is he practicing? Like, a normal person would say if someone was doing some sort of training.
Not amazed at all either that this guy.
No, she doesn't get. Yeah, that he's
around.
Really quick to accept her new mutant brothers and sisters.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what my powers are, but I hope I'm half as cool as you guys when I grow up.
Yeah, that's a low fucking bar.
Yeah, and then do they end up in the cafeteria? Basically, Rain just breaks down like this is what their deal is, and his deal, and their deal, and then like Reyes just shows up and is just like, where the fuck were you? And I was like, I'm pretty sure we had open yard time now, Teach. Like, what's the deal? You can't be unaccounted for on hospital grounds. And I was like,
she threatens a lot of discipline. Yeah, exactly. She threatens a lot of disciplinary action to them, all five of them. And I was like, well, maybe if you had some toughs around here that they can maybe defeat with their powers later on to kind of show the audience, fuck it. And then she's
I didn't understand why they were afraid of her ever. There's no displays of power. Okay,
ever. Like this guy's literally the surface of the sun. This guy, he's like a god bullet.
He's a god bullet that can like just bounce off the surface of the sun's glistening abs.
Which is like a cool power. I just wish the character was cool. Like, here's the thing, like visually, I think the Sunspot dude looks cool when he flames on and shit. I'm like, that's cool looking visually.
Well, it would have been cool if they kept like the comic book where he turns all black.
Yeah, no, they kind of tried to do it, but they just got a little too fancy with them. But overall, I liked it. I like Magic when her shit's in full blast. She's super cool. When Wolfsbane's there, I'm like, where's the other guy?
I'm just like, I don't remember you look. I was like, are we sure we didn't want to just do Feral? I mean, something.
At least Feral looks like a weirdo kind of mutant, and I think they needed that in this movie. Just kind of someone off-putting a little bit. That's not a visual norm, right? And I think she would have been a great presence because she does have that weird like lupus wolf hybrid look to her-esque, but it's not so like, oh my god, you're trying too hard. I get it. Yeah. Could be a lot of prosthetics. She could be expensive. You don't want to have it look like Mystique because I don't give a shit when anyone says that sucked.
It sucks. All forms of it sucks. I don't know why anyone likes that shit. All those hours of makeup, pointless. It was stupid. But it just, she didn't look like Wolfsbane to me, and I like that character, and I was just kind of like, I don't care that you're here. Like, I really don't. And Cannonball, I like that character a lot, and the way they made him like vibrate his arms, I was like, this is stupid. His fucking legs disappear and he turns into a rocket. Like, fucking figure it out. It's not rocket science. Just make his legs disappear and he turns into a rocket. Okay, I don't know why you're making him his hand shake. I was like, what is this shit? I was like, he literally does a Superman 2 arms in front. Like, come on. What the fuck? But and then it's like bedtime. She's like, all right, everyone, go to sleep. Here's your room, Danny. And and then she's sleeping, but the boys are doing laundry, and then Reyes is watching them on the monitors.
She's always watching. That's kind of the only reason for this scene, I believe, because the guys just try to have a bonding moment. But why are you doing laundry after hours? It's bedtime, and then she's letting him do laundry. You're trying to be a bad bitch running this place with all these rules, but you let him break curfew. It's lights out, and he's running laundry.
But here's the other thing that doesn't make sense, Kevin. Cannonball says, so you don't wash it, you just throw it away?
Buy new ones, man. I'm rich.
But, like...
Who's doing laundry, bro? I get it.
Who's buying him how is he getting clothes?
He's doing that thing where you kind of pick your wardrobe out from Amazon and then you keep what you like and then you send back the rest.
He's doing the fucking Prime wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's like, this is acceptable. Like, Prime wardrobe hits the van, just hits the force field, catches on fire. He's like, oh, come on, Reyes. Fucking... I'm gonna have to pay for those slacks now.
I'll just leave it out front, I guess.
Yeah. I was just like, what the fuck? How's he getting new clothes? And so he's just like, here, Cannonball, you could have my shirt. My stinky shirt.
That was Dustin. Dustin was like, I'll take it off your hands, Cannonball.
Give me that shirt. I'm gonna fucking that's a fucking cuddle up shirt right there.
That just turned into his fucking nighty shirt.
Yeah, sir. I mean, it would be tight.
That's all I'm wearing is the shirt that
He's like,
gave me.
I know it's small on you. Your dick is flapping in the wind, dude. And I'm like, it's for you.
Everybody's just
I'm like mutant for the first time tonight.
What movie does this all of a sudden I should watch?
I don't think I like this movie. It's a little too real life for me right now. Instead, so Sunspot fucks off. He goes to his room. Cannonball just sits there.
It stares at a dryer.
Yeah, and then the bad computer algorithm is just like, I think this chick's a mutant. I think she's doing some mutant shit. And then Cannonball looks in a dryer, and
he's whisked away into his own nightmare.
And it's a shitty nightmare. It could have been fucking cool.
I don't know, dude. I thought it was pretty shitty. I don't know if there was any way to save it.
Well, okay. Well, here I'll give you one minor way that it could have been.
How about this? He's in a coal mine, right? He's going down, down, down. He's in a coal mine. Whoops. He sees a bunch of dudes. They're all coal mining way too close to each other. But he's
way too close. Like,
he's clearly,
come on, guys, you're gonna do a cave in here. So
he's clearly uncomfortable. He's very intimidated by this situation. There's a bunch of lights. They're doing the whole lights and the camera thing, which I fucking love. Thank you every time someone does that in a movie. Just shine this fucking bright light into the camera because that's what I see.
It was the safest coal mine.
It was very safe. It was very tidy.
Safe. We're very bright. Yeah, everything's very clean in this movie. Like,
that's
everything.
Not what we're here for. As he continues to go down, he's just like, Papa, Father? And all the other miners stop and they all slowly turn. And then the dad
Which could have been cool if anyone had filmed that competently.
Yeah.
And if maybe instead of just trying not to show their faces, we do something similar to Ileana's and have them all have the same face. Like, I don't know, make a horrific theme here where they're all smiling men.
You know what?
All experienced smiling men, and the smiling men's almost like our fucking sixth character, maybe. I don't know.
I would have, in that same vein, I would have liked it since there was a excessive use of lighting in this scene. I would have really liked it if the light was bouncing around and all their faces were perfectly in shadow. And I'd be like, that'd be kind of cool because now you're taking the light. We got some shadow faces. Ooh, spooky. And you really don't, it's there, but it's kind of just a touch of scary, right? You're like, ooh, that's uncomfortable because you know he's fucked because they're all behind him. They have pickaxes. You don't know where this is going. You see his dad, or he turns around and he's just
and his dad's hammering at this wall and it's all like fleshy and bleedy, but not for very long and not visually interesting. Where you're just like,
they don't
that's
really,
creepy.
They don't really punch in on it, so you can't.
No.
You can tell something's up with the wall.
It's like the bear necklace. Is it a bear necklace? Is that blood coming from the walls?
Is it just sweaty? Did he just throw his water bottle at it and they're all having a laugh?
Like, fuck mining.
And I'm like, yeah,
I
dude.
saw that Sabrina. We're never gonna touch that shit. It's fucking. This is bullshit.
And then he turns around and his dad's like, hey man, you got that $20 you owe me? And then he just wakes up all scared and shit.
He's just like, because I was like gonna take the family to Wendy's and Piper's come to calling. So
He's just like, and he wakes up and he's just mortified, like, fuck, what happened that day?
He's like, I gotta break this dryer.
Yeah, and the dryer's like, bro,
fucking clothes in it. So yeah, and then that's it. And then like, I don't know, I guess Danny pees her pants or something, and the dream stops. And spoiler, she's the one doing it. If we didn't already mention that. And it's like the next morning or something, or we cut back to Reyes for a second. She's just like,
interesting. And the whole time the camera's just like, this chick could have powers.
Mutant's gonna mute. I don't know. You're just like, what?
The camera's just like, I don't know, man. Mute. She's doing what that bald-headed fucker does, I think. The camera's like, really, camera?
So it's definitely, it couldn't possibly be the psychic ability to telepathically create illusions from her opponent's fears or wishes. Definitely couldn't be that, but also with a bow and arrow that's missing conveniently. So
fuck you, computer.
fuck you, computer's just like, I think she did something. It's just like, thanks, computer. Like,
computer sucks.
We figured it out. Yeah, I'm really trying to remember what they do the next day. I know that. She showers. We go to the shower, right?
Dude, I was like, we're gonna see some titties.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to see these young girls' titties. This is really weird.
Hey, man, the movie. No, the movie started. The movie's like, hey, you're gonna be a creeper watching this, and I was like, fine, movie, I'll be that. I'll be your little creeper. The movie's like, okay,
I'll creep so damn hard.
Yeah, they give it. There's something to creep on for everyone in here.
Right.
So just don't watch this movie on this scene and then have someone come in and be like, "Hey man, pretty young. What are you into that?" And you're kind of like, the movie made me a creeper. Yeah, man. Whatever. I'm gonna make some calls.
I'm gonna make some calls. I mean, this is on your digital footprint, so good luck explaining it into the court of law. All right, or the public court.
As many of you know, I've never been a young, supple teenage girl. And I don't know when young, supple teenage girls walk into a shower. Are they just like, hey, what's up, girl? Boom, titties out, pounding? Like, is that a thing? I guess it was. Because Wolfsbane's in the shower, dude. She's scrubbing the funk off.
Yeah, she's scrubbing a lot. Like, I guess the wolf was heavy that day.
So she has her own
heavy wolf day.
Real musk, if you will. Yeah. And, it's whatever. She's a woman. She can musk up. And then Danny walks in and she's like, who wants to see Cannon 1 and 2? They should have called me Cannons. And I was like, okay. And she's like, hey, what's up, man? Any soap left for me? Any hot water left for me? Oh, is that a Whataburger tattoo on your neck?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I really want to try them. I heard they're killer. And she's like, yeah. It's what happens when you eat all of them. They give you this burn mark.
They give you this they brand you. Have you seen The Vow? It's kind of like that. It's just like
oh yeah, man,
type thing.
And her Marky Mark's into that shit.
Yeah, it's
real awkward. And I was like,
Danny, because you're just like, Danny, are you quite possibly the dumbest character in this dumb ass movie? I mean, there's a lot of everyone's a dumbass. Yes, I am. You're like the queen of the dumbasses. So.
I'm super stupid. Thanks for asking.
She's like,
you have no
tattoo wasn't
American background, enough. Tribal. You don't know a tattoo when you see one. You fucking idiot. And that's not a tattoo. She was burned like cattle. You asshole.
It's like, you remember her story when she said the priest called her a witch? Because that's the part you walked in on the movie, Danny.
Yeah.
So when you saw that giant W, did you think it stood for Wolfsbane? I'm just asking, because I was like, oh, she was branded a witch. And then you were like, that's pretty fucking metal.
Yeah. I was like, oh, the worst part of my life that haunts me every day as a reminder. Thank you for thinking that's metal.
And then suddenly Musk Pants is just like, all right, I don't really want to talk about it. I'm out of here. She's like, I'm so sorry. I don't feel like talking about it.
Whatever.
I gotta get out.
Enjoy the cold water.
Yeah. And then Danny's just like, oh, I guess I'll just like slap one out here on my own or something. So
yeah, well, because some guy's always doing dishes using hot water. So
seriously, he's just like, hey man, you gotta be a proper temperature to be sterile. Okay.
like,
I think like, and Danny, before she takes her towel off, she's just like, so they're like, are there cameras in here? Because I just like, I want to see myself later. And they're like, nah, it's like the only place with no cameras.
Well, and also,
and then she's like, but there could be microphones. Shh. And I was like, so are there, does it matter if there's I mean, does it matter?
The camera's going to hear me asking about microphones, and the microphones are going to be able to pick up our audio over all this water splashing. Do you ever film anything in your life? You know what microphones hate, Dustin? Loud water, wind, fucking people talking, noises, music. Microphones hate a lot of shit.
Microphones hate everything. They're just like, why are you using me? Yeah. Okay, I'm just like an angry old man. Just don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't say anything. Don't look at me.
And if the microphones are any quality as the cameras, they're going to fucking suck.
Yeah. little graphic pops up. Do you want to fucking update the firmware to this microphone? Or she's like, Reyes is like, fucking really? Damn it, these microphones suck. Fucking Sinister, will you get us better fucking microphones? He's just like, hey.
Connection sucks.
We're on a budget. So
water heater is like a 5-gallon one.
Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? Who is maintaining this building?
Nope.
And then we're doing, I believe this is when we're doing control yoga, and Danny's like really into it. Cannonball's doing his best. They all have to sit in the same order all the time. Like no one flips or flops, even if they're not using the same chairs. Ileana's just sitting there like fucking Queen Diva of the Diva people. Sunspot is opening his eyes, looking at her to see if she's doing the yoga, because otherwise it's not cool. He's not going to do it. And then Wolfsbane is doing the yoga. And I was just like, and if that felt long, me describing it, now imagine watching that, because that's what they made me do. And I was just like, just show me the fucking wide shot, guys. I really don't need to go. This isn't Breakfast Club. I don't need to go around and see what the Misfits doing, what the fucking Freaks doing, what the Popular Girls doing.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks. Just get me through this quickly. I can't remember what comes next. I think maybe the blood tests at some point.
Here's the thing, Dustin. You don't have to remember, because the good portion of the second act is just the same thing over and over and over. They're trying to build rapport with the characters. And I know a lot of the times in these episodes, we'll try to go through the movie painstakingly, scene by scene, make comments and stuff. But this movie doesn't really want us to do that, because it doesn't give us anything to do.
It's like when you just keep visiting the same scenes of the same 5 people doing the same 5 things, you're just like,
and there's nothing interesting, right? There's no interesting set pieces. The hospital is cool for like 5 seconds, right? It has that old East Coast Bostonian fucking, feel and stuff.
Filmed in Boston, so that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, this is fun for like a minute, and then everything else is just kind of in the way. They're trying to build a rapport with the team, as they are going to be, of course, and they're kind of trying to share these intimate moments with each other. There's a music bed thing where the girls are dancing with tambourines or something. The guys are playing around in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, they drug Reyes, and then they're just like,
to have a night out or something.
No. Well, first they do the base or the upstairs thing, the upstairs attic and the lie detector.
Right, they do the truth or dare thing with the lie detector,
which super sucked. I was like, because of course they're going to embarrass Sunspot, and of course Ileana was going to be a psychopath.
And that's okay. So here are the big takeaways in this whole like second act is you kind of learn that Sunspot's parents gave him up to be here to kind of cure him from being a freak, and you're going to be revealed like what haunts him, and then later on it's revealed he killed his girlfriend because he couldn't control his powers.
Yeah, he got too horny, baby.
Yeah, he gets real hot and he couldn't turn it off. You know what I'm saying, fellas? Woo woo. Cannonball killed his dad. He just went off in the fucking just doing cannonball stuff.
He got claustrophobic and he popped off.
Like, what are you
Like,
doing in a cave, you dumbass? If you're claustrophobic,
Dad said he had to mine. Apparently, I'm just like, here's what I don't get. If your family's still so dirt poor from him mining all the time, why would you add another miner? Like, you're still going to be dirt poor from all the mining.
hey, Dad, I don't want black lung. I'm gonna go ahead and go to school.
I'm going to go ahead and go to school, get an education.
I'm gonna rob gas stations. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Anything but this shit. And then you go to Magic, and she's just kind of like, hey, I was abandoned. I don't know, sex trade, trafficking, just orphanage.
Definitely not Colossus's little sister anymore.
Right. And
I'm just a different person now.
Anytime the men came around, they'd wear these masks, these smiley men masks, and kind of real like shit, what's it called? What's the one thing that he's in the forest? He's tall and lanky.
Oh, Slender Man. Yeah,
he's very Slender Man-esque.
Yeah. Which could have been a cool horror aspect if it.
I didn't mind
scary.
them when I didn't mind them when they came around. Like, there's things in the movie I do like, but it's just the story and the building of these characters, and that's kind of like your overall thing. They're very defensive. There's no sense of time of how long they've been there, how long the other kids were there before Danny's there. So where's their tight relationship?
Like, there's this carrot dangled in front of them that you can move on, that you can be free, but there's really, it just like, there's nothing substantial to back that up, but they just keep all saying it until they find out that there's other shit. But it's just like, it's so weird to me that they're just like, you gotta just go through her program, but they don't mention anyone else going through the program. They don't mention how long they've been in the program.
Yeah, there's no success stories, and there's, to your carrot analogy, there's no barometer to measure their success for the viewer, right? You're kind of just lost in this moment of time of, hey, is Sunspot going to pass? Because she's always like, hey, control this, control that. It's like, hey, what if they can control it and use it? They're not pushed to these extra levels of like, are you trying to suppress their power? Or are you trying to have them bury it deep inside?
There's we only see them controlling their emotions, and then Cannonball trying his power one time.
Right. And there's no like training montage. There's nothing. And later on, it's revealed. She always talks about her employer, the doctor, and they reveal Essex, right? So you're just kind of like, okay. And if you don't know anything about comics, this means absolutely fucking nothing to you, period. It's just
dick all.
It means dick all. Like, I had to think about it for a second. I was like, oh wait, is this Sinister? I literally
when in doubt, it's always Sinister. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just, you see Essex, and it's just like, ugh. Like, I knew instantly. The minute she was just like, my employer, I was like, okay, so it's Sinister. Got it, done. I was like, you're never going to show him in the movies, but whatever,
Yeah, exactly. I know they've teased him in other fucking Fox properties of showing him. They teased
him like 5 times. I was just like, are you ever going to show him? They're like, nah, we're building up to it. Oh, we got sold. We don't care now.
I heard they were after, but the plans were to have him post credits in the Apocalypse, whatever. But that blew and tanked so hard, they were just like, fuck it. Fuck everything. But Fox, they're just like, all right, let's do something.
They teased him in fucking Dark Phoenix as well.
Oh wow, I never saw that one.
Don't.
Dude.
Like, if you think this is boring and unwatchable, this is a fucking cakewalk.
I'm very, very, very off comic book superhero movies. I
wouldn't even say that it's a comic book superhero movie. It's just stuff that is very choppily put together on screen. So
choppily, that's fucked up.
Yeah. So then they drug Reyes, and so basically, like, every time we need a scene of like, hey, let's figure out this person's dark trauma, so just to go through them. So we go through Sinclair's. Hers is the priest. She's showering again, and
you got to call them by their gimmick name, man, because we're probably confused.
Whatever. Rain Sinclair. She's showering. The priest shows up. She's just like, "What the fuck?" And then he brands her again on the neck, and it's kind of cool for like a second. She's like, I killed you, and then you see his face, and he's got like the werewolf claw marks. So they were like, yeah, we saw an American werewolf in Paris or in London, whatever. And then Sunspot, he thinks he's chasing Ileana in a pool. And then then the dead girlfriend shows up and starts rubbing his pecs, and he's just like, ew, I'm not into crusty hands. What the fuck? And then he flames
Dustin
up.
was like, ma'am, I got this.
Yeah, I was just like, excuse me, get in line, okay? Fucking, he does not even have to chase me.
I'll chase him.
I will chase him to the end of the fucking world. And then we already covered cannonballs. And then Ileana's, like Kevin said, is the smiling men and childhood abandonment. So, and that's it. That's what all of this is. Danny's powers active and using it. And so eventually Sinister gets back to Reyes and is just like, this chick's dangerous. Like the computer's like, fucking algorithm ran. She's dangerous. Get some more DNA though. Get some more DNA and then terminate her. And then Reyes has been talking about, like, I laughed so hard, Kevin, when she was just like, I come from a family of doctors. My mother was a vet. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, do you hear how stupid that sounds, you assholes?
Like, fair enough. I like animals more than I like people. I'll give her that point.
I was just like, yes, I get that you're a medical doctor technically and everything, but it's just like, do you not hear how that sounds? Like, I'm a doctor. I was like, I would like to see a diploma, please. Especially after you just said your mother was a vet,
That's like no disrespect to anybody, but that's like, I'm a chef. What do you do? I flip burgers. You know what I mean? It's we get it. We got you.
Yeah. Oh, and I think for when Ileana's is revealed, she's put her in like a truth serum drug thing, and Ileana's just like, she's gonna kill us all, and they're just like, oh, what the fuck.
Well, right. There's a couple of beef scenes where after Wolfsbane gets branded, she runs out and she kind of wolfs out a little bit, and they chase her down because they're always just hanging out in like the far reaches of the hospital, and they hear screams and they run. I mean, like, come on, can we get some security? And they're all running. And they're just like, oh no, what's wrong with Wolfsbane? She like wolfed out, and she's like,
she wolfed out, ran right into that fucking door that wouldn't open.
I mean, like, I get it. She's a wolf, but can she like smell the door, dummy? And then fucking Magic shows up, and she's like, "Yo, it's fucking Danny, fucking Albright. She's in our heads. I'm about to end this bitch." In her
in the worst Russian accent, she's like, "I know what your power is, Moon Star."
That was actually pretty good. That sounded just like her.
I know,
but you don't care because she looks cool, right? Her arm turns into that big gauntlet, and like the fucking light sword pops on. Not this time, but she goes to like choke the bitch. And you're just like, damn, you want to choke him? Why'd you just stab her with the light sword? And we could be done with the movie. And she's like, no, this is dumber. And it knocks her into she tackles Danny. They fall down, and Limbo kind of opens up, the place where she goes to hide. Magic goes. And she's just like, I'm going to kill her right here. Fuck all this noise. And then Danny's just like, hey, what are you scared of, bitch? And her face turns into one of the smiley men. And then she just flails off like, oh, my God. And then the doctor has this tranquilizer shit that knocks these guys out like in 1 second. And I'm like, whoa, bro, what's in that? Like, did they use that on you? Or did they just fucking fill your fucking fridge with White Claws or something, like, because you get knocked out? And
she's like, I do this job for free, and the free White Claws, that is.
There's no laws when you're sipping the claws.
And that's really why she's just constantly hungover and drunk. They're just like, she's the worst doctor ever. So she throws a White Claw can at their head. She's just like,
I don't really feel it till like the 29th one. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely developing a bit. I can't say that word. Falls down, pisses her pants. They're just like, why don't you do to her? I gave her 5 extra White Claws.
Why don't you turn into a wolf and sniff these nuts? I'm just kidding. I'm crazy.
I'm crazy.
I'm so drunk right now.
But turn into a wolf. I want to smell your vag. She's just like, whoa.
Everybody's like, whoa.
Like, that's too far. She's a young girl. I mean, in her 20s. So
that's a 10-yard penalty for encroachment.
So it smells like, I only know the footy. He's just like, yeah.
Hey,
all right. we're doing overtime, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got. She's just like, boo.
Boo, I don't understand.
I don't
Soccer.
understand. Yeah, and so yeah, and Ileana pops out and then like drops Loki or Lockheed when she gets drugged, and so and like Danny
They get thrown in the hole, right? Which is basically just like it seems to be their room, but just less roomier.
no, that was earlier. This time she just gets put in her regular room, and then Danny just shows up with the puppet. And I was like, hey, man.
Then like, and then Magic, she's like coloring and making all this traditional fucking trope horror movie scary picture drawing things that I fucking hate.
Yeah, and it's like it was like they're trying to show that her fucking personality is split. Like she has this like badass killer personality, but then also she's just like a little kid still. And
now she's vulnerable, right? Yeah. Because she wouldn't give Danny the time of day, and now she's just like, and then Lockheed, and then she gets Lockheed, and
she's like, let me tell you my backstory.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like a role playing game. You fetch the fucking animal, and just like, thank you for bringing back my toy, and now I will tell you my backstory. Here is a narrative dump, and I'm like,
I will help you later on in your journey.
Yeah, Magic has joined the team. You're like, oh, all right, I guess.
Achievement unlocked.
And I'm like, all right, well, okay. And she just starts going into it, and then Danny's like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, because Danny doesn't sell. Danny don't sell for no one. You fucking job for her, okay? She doesn't job for you.
She doesn't sell for no one, dude.
She won't even sell for herself sometimes, okay?
She barely sold for her dad. Like he was barbecued, flying in the air. She was just like, dude.
She landed like a fucking plop of shit in front of her. And she was just like, well, sometimes dads are gonna plop his shit in front of you. Moving on, I gotta run. So
I was like, wow, that's real, Danny.
And then she's just like, all right, well, great backstory and all, but it's not relevant to the story yet, so I got to go meet Wolfsbane, and and they kiss at some point. It's really kind of not romantic. They're like looking at paint hit the force field, and it looks like blood.
It's like this orange blood moon type thing that they look up at it, and
there's like a graveyard on this hospital site, and they like to hang out at it because that's.
I'd be like, this doesn't look like a successful hospital. Can I please leave?
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, there looks like there's room for 5 more here. I don't know if I want to stay.
Looks like it was just like PPO didn't cover all of it.
I was just like, okay, so Wolfsbane's very Catholic, and she likes to hang out in the graveyard. I don't care. Whatever.
I think it was just supposed to be the attempts of a set piece, because the biggest takeaway from this is she knows how to navigate the vents inside the hospital, and there is a way out that doesn't have these like super industrial power locks on it. So the team can navigate those. I guess the girls can do it because they're small enough. I've made my own.
Yeah, that scene was stupid. She was just like, where are we going? She's like, I can see the dark. And I was like, is it dark up there? Like, it's lit like fucking a supernova. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't need to see the dark. And they didn't even do the eyes thing. They were just like, no, anyway.
They do the eye thing once, but it's like bad contacts. And I was just like, whatever.
And she's like, oh, sorry, don't look at my eyes. She's like, they're beautiful.
I was like,
I want to lick them. And it's like, whoa, freak.
Freaking
like Danny's more comfortable with her sexuality than she is acting in this movie. Okay, so
she's just her performance is just very muted. It's very monotone. She doesn't stand out when she's in the scene. The magic girl, at least she has a presence. She's very like bitchy and cunty, but she has a presence when she's there. I want to see what she's going to say and do next. Where everyone else, like, in all honesty, they should have made her the main character, I feel. I just felt like if she was just the only one that felt like a character to me. And that's not really saying a lot because everyone else is just so hollow and flat. But I don't know, man. Like, I felt like she's the only one that had real depth. Where I was like, oh, she has the limbo thing and the smiley man thing and the dragon and the sword and a backstory. And she's related to another character I don't know about because I just happen to know her name. But I don't get anything from Sunspot. I got barely anything from Cannonball. Like, Sunspot, he's an afterthought so hard in this. He maybe has like maybe 8 minutes of solid. You get the girlfriend thing. There's a couple of moments with Cannonball where they're hanging out in the rec room or whatever, and he's washing dishes like 3 of the scenes, and he tries to escape, and that's it. Like, I think there's 4 things he kind of does. He hides Dustin in the finale. What the fuck?
And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing the same as you, hiding." And I was just like, "You guys literally told him to hide." Like.
Yeah, and like I get it. They're not comfortable in their powers, and they want to keep each other safe, and they're kind of.
We're almost there, so let's just kind of get there, because so Danny's called in. Reyes is like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to this weird back room that should scare you that you're being taken into a back room. I've re-handcuffed you to the bed."
No, she's all the way strapped down, like legs,
and Danny's
thighs,
just like,
waist.
Much like everything, this is fine. Like
everything's cool. Everything's coming up Danny.
Everything's coming up Danny today.
Danny, I had a dad.
Danny found her fucking powers.
Shut up about your dad, Danny. No one cared.
Yeah, so
there are some awkward scenes where Danny is in slumber when her powers really manifest, and they just show you what happened like an hour and a half ago, and you're just like, don't do that, movie. I'm not stupid. I remember the dad flying through the trees with the greatest of ease.
He's just like,
whoa, this
is like plop of shit again. Yeah, they love showing dead dad. Like, that's the most acting he got to do in the movie.
Yeah, dude.
How many falls can you take? At least 20. All right, well,
I only need
get to
one.
falling. And then she starts telling the story about her vet mom again.
Like, I thought like Vietnam vet, and then she was like, no, pet vet. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Is it the rescue pet vet?
And I was like,
show?
What is the point of her talking right now? Because she's not, in particular, delivering a performance of any quality
or magnitude.
Like, she's not been established enough in this movie, unfortunately, for me to like care about what she's saying.
So.
And she's just like talking about putting a dog down, and I was just like, man,
why didn't they just do the scream ending? They should have just been like, hey, Danny, sometimes you got to do shit that you don't want to do, and sometimes when you're a wild dog like you got to be put down, and sometimes when the sinister minister has your fucking paychecks, you got to do what he says because he got those teeth, and he'll munch you. He'll munch you up.
He's got the teeth, and he's always looking for mutants to add to his little like weird mutant formula cocktail he's got going on in his body, so I guess he wants your powers. I don't care. As long as he doesn't kill me. And there's some weird illusion that like Danny sees inside her head, and there's these kids being trained to be killers.
Yeah, and I was like, is that the movie I should be watching?
I was like, that's way. But like, here's my thing, Kevin, is like, so they figure out eventually, I'm just gonna jump ahead for a moment, that's the goal with them. And I was like, but this is how you go about getting them ready for that? By putting them in like
trained
killers hospital and having them like cook peas and watch Buffy?
Trained killers she wanted.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see any potential in Reyes of killing, let alone training killers.
Yeah, like Reyes, she should have been like the kind of nurturing character, and there should have just been another like official going, you're freaks, you're mutants, and I'm gonna teach you how to use your powers. You're gonna be shitting thunderbolts and doo-doo and lightning. I'd been like, wow.
It's just strong guy, and you're just like, shut up, strong guy, you fucking asshole. He's like, all right, fair enough. It just goes to bed. They're just like, that guy's a pushover.
I would have you guys as my ace. Fucking here. You want to see the fucking #1 top graduate? It's fucking Punk from Alpha Flight, everyone. Have you read about him? He's successful.
Boo! He gets canceled all the time. He's like, hey, don't bring that up, okay? Sure, when I was created, they only knew one thing about Canada, and that was hockey. But,
one thing.
I'm a hockey puck.
And then they
I bounce around like a hocky puck.
Oh, that graveyard? What's that? That's the kids that didn't make it.
Yeah.
You need to be the new mutants. We were like, that name sucks, but you're new. So that kind of invokes curiosity. Maybe people will check it out. But that name sucks.
That name sucks. But at the time, it was kind of poignant, and we were dealing with a lot of history of the mutants and X-Men and stuff, and they were like new mutants. We're gonna invest in new characters.
I just heard fucking dated, old man. I ain't here for your dated hippie shit and your funny books. They all fucking suck. Everybody's like, oh well, you're right on all accounts,
right. But so I'm just gonna strap Danny in to the gas and let the gas kill her.
Can Puck get his own solo book, everyone?
No, he sucks, man. Have you read how they write him?
He's just a hockey mascot. He's really waiting to break free. Marvel's like, we're listening.
We're listening. This has got at least a one shot of potential.
Dude, give me a one shot. Give me 160 pages, and you'll regret.
Like, Jesus, what are we putting this in Walmart? Hell no. 106. That's a graphic novel.
Give him the glossy covers. $4.99. We got to move it.
Puck. Kids are just like, Mommy, I don't think I want to read that one. Mom's like, don't look at that. Don't look at that. I think I like Canada. I think I hate hockey too. Mommy's just like, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel the same rage looking at that fucking glossy cover of Puck. Why? Why is he wearing shorts?
Why is he at a bikini competition and starring in it
and judging it?
I see. This is a Tropicana lotion tie-in. That's how this book got made.
That's Tropicana's like, which character do we get? You know what? We're fucking desperate. We're
a little hairy dude
for fucking anything Marvel. Okay, so slap it on that fucking little dude that looks like a hockey puck. Let's go. All right.
Well,
he ended up being a Benedict Arnold to the Alpha Flight in one of the miniseries, but they forgave him in the next issue, so it's okay. That's good. Yeah.
They all went curling after that.
Yeah, Sasquatch was just like, hey, man, it's hard being an ugly little dude, isn't it?
What if, dude, him and Wendigo and like a Perfect Strangers kind of thing.
Oh, him and Wendigo do not get along. Are you talking about Sasquatch and Wendigo?
Yeah.
So Wendigo has killed Sasquatch a couple times, dude. Like a couple times.
But then you just have like their roommates, and then Puck always just opens the door like, hey, what's going on, guys? Are you guys beefing again? Yeah, man. Look,
that's like having dumb Hulk with smart Hulk. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but like
dumb Hulk always smashes smart Hulk. So
smart Hulk's like,
smart Hulk's like, you gonna do the dishes this time? And he just smashes the sink. He's like, they're done. Smashy smash.
People are like, can you just stop talking about this fucking movie and whatever else derails you every 2 seconds?
So eventually Wolfsbane goes to the vents and finds them and stabs Reyes a whole like basically murders this chick.
Yeah, she like jumps on her and wolfs out a little bit. She don't go like, full wolf.
Ever do? And she hears her in the vents. She's just like, what's going on there? I know I got force fields and stuff, but
why wouldn't she just like I was like, why don't you just slap a force field around their fucking head and watch them suffocate?
You just have one around yourself to protect your neck.
Like, if she could do the force field, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I can do the force field pretty much at any size. I just put it inside your heart, snap your fingers, break your neck. You know what I mean? I'd be like, damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
And scary.
And scary. And very, yeah. But, and so she saves Danny because Danny inhaled like 2 seconds of the dead drug. And then the kids are just like, what's wet, wild and loose. They're just like, oh shit, and there's something coming. There's a storm. There's a cold storm brewing because Danny is like all drugged out of her mind. I think at one point they find their files or some shit, and
they all have files on them. Yeah. It's kind of basically when they're running loose, they're like, we gotta rescue Danny, and Danny's inebriated, so her fucking powers are full force, and the smiley men are coming out just chasing him and shit. I do like them. I think they look very cool. Yeah. I like when Magic, she suits up and she just wastes them.
They don't do anything.
They look
nothing.
Cool. They just look cool. Like, she wastes them, and I'm like, why did you have this fight on the stairs? This is really awkward. Like,
Like, I can't really see what's going on.
Yeah,
Like, at
it's
all.
kind of
And I was
cool.
like, and what was Cannonball gearing up to do? Just like
Nothing.
kill one of them?
He goes through one of them on the stairs, and I'm like, why didn't you put this in a hallway where you could shoot it long and kind
No,
of
they
just
did
have.
that, and they just like showed like a leg after he was done.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I would have had like the whole fight scene just
Yeah.
pull like
No, no, I agree. Yeah.
do like an old boy or something where you just do like a long shot and it's just there you put the fucking
Oh,
run
they
the
don't got
track.
boy money like that. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean like use some creative like camera work and
Dude,
just
these
put
guys
it.
were barely competent with the camera. Remember the bear we never got to see, Kevin?
I know,
Remember
dude.
the remember the tattoo that they barely zoomed in on?
Well, because here's the thing, right? The director's known for doing like these like talking head movies, right? These romance character driven narratives, right? And now he's trying to do a lot of that, like 70 fucking 80% of the movie is that. But then there's these flare up of action and tension and like, oh, let's
Because you're
resolve
doing a
this.
mutant movie. You don't get someone who's good at drama to direct a fucking action franchise.
Exactly. Or you let, the second unit take over and go, hey man, just what do you want us to do here? We're gonna do it. We're gonna have it look good.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's gonna be CG anyway. And it's just like to have it in the staircase, it's like not even a full staircase. It's just really awkward, and you're watching it behind like a fence kind of thing. And I was like,
there's like an elevator fence thing.
yeah. And then after she slays him, because her eyes glow blue, I just really love her look. And Sunspot's like, that's hot. And I'm like, is that appropriate right now? Like,
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna marry her, and I was just like, no, you're not.
dude.
Like, what do you?
She does
what are
feel like you're
doing?
gonna marry me.
You're gonna marry me, all right, beefy. Like, just cool it. I'll win your parents over. Don't worry about them. Don't
You
worry
gotta work
about
on
it.
work on the pet names for them. But
I
see it.
mean, I gotta. I'll call what I want. All right, Kevin.
Man, I got you.
Those are our intimate pet names that I will create with him.
The heart
Okay.
wants what the heart wants. I get
When
it.
I'm mushroom tipping his forehead.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, so Danny's knocked out, and all their fears are coming. Basically, just Ileana's and Danny's fears are coming out. Actually, like
Which
no
is
one else's fears
interesting.
making an appearance.
It turns into very Dream Warriors where they're all experiencing the fears, right? So
Mhm.
the smiley men are able to attack the others. So and they're able to kill them. You're like, oh, okay, is it just? And I think it was done really poorly. Like there should have been like some sort of visual transition for the viewers to be like, hey, are we in the quote unquote dream world? Is there something happening where I can tell that? Can you see it? Because when Wolfbane's got branded again, that was really legitimately physically on her, and everyone saw it. And I was like, is she manifesting their fears like in a physical sense?
Yes, I mean that's her power. So.
But I don't think it was ever clearly
No, it definitely
stated
was not.
for the viewers. So the viewers are like, is this a dream? Because when she goes to dream, all the things come back. What the fuck? Like, it's never just clearly said. Like, there's no, like, Reyes could have just been like, hey, it looks like when you go to sleep, you create that. Like, just tell me. Have me read it on the file.
Reyes was just like, I don't know. It says to kill you and that you're real dangerous. And that was it. Like Peter's like, I don't know, man. That's the best I could come up with,
And then
like, sister made this program on Windows 95, so I don't know what you expect from me. So
then there's the storms brewing outside, and Reyes has run off, and then she kind of goes back to what she knows and tries to control them with the overhead PA of like, get back into your rooms, everything. You're being bad muties. I was like, what?
She's like, I'm going to talk about fucking obedience right now. And I was like, shut the fuck. What the fuck?
Yeah. If she had more of a character and that was kind of her only sense of control, like she was like this almost dominatrix in a way where she was just like, no, you will follow the rules. It's all about the rules because the editor told me the rule. Like she doesn't have that moment where I'm just like, why would she?
No, I didn't even. It just getting on the PA was out of character for her.
Exactly. Like, why would she do this in any shape, form, or fashion? She just got attacked by her students. There's horror things everywhere. Shit is literally hitting the fan. What was your exit? Like, what was your end game in case these students became self-aware and they wanted to take over? What were you going to do? Just inject them all in the neck? Were you going to like tell them to get back on their cages? They're not about that. They're fucking hyped. They got their powers. They're ready to break free. You failed. What was your safety measure, you idiot?
There was zero safety measure. Yeah.
So stupid.
And that's why I don't even buy the whole like, oh, we're going to turn you into killers. I was like, what does Sinister need killers for? That's what he does. That's not his end game at all. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Your contingency plan was to throw force fields on top of them?
Yeah, because she's bleeding out. They come in, they're just like, we're fucking, school's out forever, motherfucker. She's like, this is a hospital. There's no school here. Okay.
School's out. Oh.
Cannibal's like, oh, fuck yeah, I love that one. That's the one I killed my dad to.
Everybody's like, oh.
Oh. They're like, you killed your dad? I killed my dad. They're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, we should hang out.
I killed my dad, too. And she's like, I killed a priest. He was like a father. Get it? And they're just like, oh, shit, we killed him. And so, yeah, then she force fields them, and then it knocks Danny out. And then the demon bear shows up. It's not a Wendigo, and I was very disappointed. I was like, really? You have the rights to Wendigo, Fox, when you originally made this movie, or Disney when you decided to fucking reshoot and add this part to it.
They're like, what's a Wendigo? Like an SUV or something?
I mean, I would drive a Wendigo for sure. So,
you know what would have been sick, dude? Like, it should have been Karma showing up, going, "Why am I not in this?" Like, I don't know. And then like, Hellfire Club could show up or something, and I'd have been like, "Oh."
I mean, anything could have been better than a demon bear just like busting through a wall and then fucking jawsing fucking Reyes. He's just like, I'm a MacGuffin. I'll get you out of here. Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, why would you eat her? And why would she put a force field over herself so she wouldn't get eaten?
Because she's not good at that, Kevin. When she senses danger, she's just like, uh-oh, I die.
But she put all the kids in a force field, and they were like suffocating and stuff. And she had the force
field around the fucking place.
Bro.
Which, my favorite scene, they think is still up after she's dead. And I was like, that's not how things work, guys.
Well, they're the
the school of the idiots. So.
Yeah, they're the dumbest characters. And then, like, the demon bear, as they call it, he's like a God of War character. He just like, hey, here's my big animated head. Just punch the shit out of it. And I'm like, all right, let me see your attack pattern. All right, that's doable.
No, seriously, it is just like that. And so they can't get Danny to wake up. And they're just like, why is it after us? And then Wolfsbane's like, it's after Daddy. It's your biggest fear. And
that was the sound it makes. Gar!
Yeah, it does sound like that, actually. And then so they're just on the run from the demon bear. They go to the chapel because we have to go to the chapel.
Back to the chapel.
And Wolfsbane's like, let's hide in the confessional because that's not going to trap us at all. Then Ileana disappears and she comes back with Lockheed and they start like fucking up this bear for a minute.
She's like, "I'll
not
keep
really
them
doing
busy.
anything to it." Yeah, she's just like keeping them busy.
But now Lockheed is now visibly a dragon.
Yeah,
I don't know how or why
of the movie. Yeah, we don't know how or why. No one acknowledges it.
Like, when she teleported out, I was like, "Oh, she must have went to limbo." And then she comes back. I was like, "Oh shit, Lockheed's been in limbo the whole time, and she brought him back, and that's why she always kept going there to look for her long lost friend. And now she's back, and he was real the whole time, Dustin. And now he's here fighting a bear." But the movie was like, "Nah, man, like go fuck
he's
yourself."
Gonna turn back into a puppet in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, movie. Pick a fucking lane. I know this is all magical, funny book shit, but fuck, dude. I'm a viewer watching your movie. I don't give a fuck what you went through. I don't care about reshoots. I don't care about edits. I don't care about any of that shit.
I don't care that Marvel got involved. I don't care that Fox got involved. I don't care if fucking you switched 13 producers on this shit. I don't care. All I have is what you showed me. And what you showed me doesn't make a lot of fucking sense at all. Okay? Like your whole movie doesn't make sense most of the time. So, but yeah, just all of a sudden, Lockheed is a real dragon was very jarring because it was just like, what?
Like she didn't
now.
She didn't need it at the point. She's already established for what she is, and you chose to represent the Lockheed character as the stuffed animal that she's attached to. I accepted it, right? And she never really broke from it. She except for one time, I think she misplaced it. Danny helped her out, and that was it. It could be the psychological bond there, and that's fine. But I was like, is that like it didn't make any sense? This all of a sudden the smiley men are just not there anymore because now the bears set center.
No one
stage.
else's fears showed up at all. You know,
we're just it's all about Danny now. We just have the movie's
where were all the
get
murdered
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Danny's where were all the murdered girlfriends? Where were all the coal mines? Where's all the priests? Like they should just had all of them running around.
Yeah, just the movie was like desperately just trying to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, and so then Danny's in this like dreamscape, hiding. She doesn't know how to fucking. She follows a wolf. It's fucking Wolfsbane calling her, and then she goes to the tree that she watched her father be murdered from, and then her dad shows up, and he's just like, "Hey, I get to say another couple lines of dialogue."
Hey, they plump. They plump when you cook them. She was like, "Fucking sick, Dad." He's like, "Catch you later, Bill and Ted." And then he just disappears. And I was like, solid.
Yeah, that would have been better, but instead he's just like, "You're a bigger bear," and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
He's like, "Go Bruins."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, do you need more hockey analogies?"
Okay.
I don't. I'm actually from Canada, so I'm down with the hockey. You know, like personally, I'm more of a Canucks fan, but neither here nor there. All right, and so then she's just like, "All right, I can take this bear." I think Cannonball at one point yells "nut up" to Sunspot, who then burns everything and does actually a pretty good job of doing some defense for just like the 30 seconds he's allowed to have CG. And then Danny just like tells the bear to fuck off. She's also like, "Hey bear, what you doing?
Don't you come around here, no boy, bear.
Don't you come down. You're not welcome here, no boy. My biggest fear is commitment to this relationship I'm in." And then the bear's like, "Oh shit, that sounds deep." And he's just like fucks off, and they're just like, "Yay, go team New Mutants." And then they just conveniently they're finding their files and personal effects outside the wall that Reyes was killed at. Sunspot, for whatever reason, picks up her foot just to kind of hammer home, I guess, a horror element that is still missing from the movie at this point. And then they're just like, "What do we do now?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of there." And then Ileana's just like, "I hear the nearest town's like 20, 25 miles. Why don't we go find out?" And I was like, "How about you all just shut the fuck up? Turn around. There's like a town right there." And then Cannonball's like, "Let me test that the force field's down. I'll throw my dad's coal that he gave me." I was like, first of all, your dad sucks. Okay, Cannonball, he deserved to die. He gave you coal. Okay? Like he's like, "This is what you're going to do with your life. Coal."
Maybe he wanted him to turn into a diamond, just like the coal, to give him something to shoot for.
No, he threw it the fuck away.
Well,
and they're like, "No force field." I'm like, "The force field chick is dead, you idiots." I was like, "What? You thought you were stuck there?" Like,
they're pretty stupid.
Yeah, and then it's just like, all right, end the movie, and then quite possibly, so it goes through and it's showing you like the little like the sketch version. They take a scene from the movie and they do like a sketch filter over it, and then they get to Danny and she turns into like a 40-year-old woman, and I was like, "What the fuck happened here?" Like it was jarring. I was like, "Where did this come from?" And then that's in the movie. I watched to the end. There was no after credit shit. They were just like, we're not even gonna try. Okay, we know. We know. That's why it's in association with Marvel, as big as we can make it fit.
Yeah.
And that's the New Mutants. Probably one of the worst constructed, boringest superhero Marvel X-Men movies I've ever seen. No surprises, nothing original. Some cool components, like I'll agree that them shooting when their powers are taught, with the exception of Cannonball, because his powers look fucking disappointing and stupid. But everyone else, when theirs was on, was pretty good. What says you, Kevin? Do you have any final thoughts of the New Mutants?
Yeah, it's pretty awful. But like I said, I did appreciate them trying to do something different. I did. Yeah. I did appreciate the horror element. Um, like I said, I know there's really not a lot of excuses that maybe there were things out of their control. And I know making movies is hard, and there's just a bunch of things when it gets to these upper echelon movies you don't have a lot of control in. But I think this feels like it was doomed from the start. Like I said, I like the horror aspect. I wish it was kind of had more clear character. I don't know. It just, they look cool when they do their powers for the most part in the scheme of superhero movies. It's just, I don't think it knew what it wanted to do. I think it was just so trying to make these relationships matter and mean something, but they didn't want to tell me anything about the characters so I could have it mean something. And I don't know, it's just very, very clumsy. It doesn't really explain itself. It just kind of hopes you're going to follow along and not question anything. And I think if you do, yeah, it's serviceable. It does feel like a long episode of like the CW type of TV shows. It's really reminiscent of that. I think maybe it would have been better suited like on episodically, where they could kind of just have little bite-sized things to control, because that's how I feel like these characters are treated. I don't know. I could have maybe sit through that if you maybe would have gave me like 12 episodes where you could kind of ease into it a little bit, and maybe it just wouldn't be so glaringly bad and rough, just because when it hits you for an hour and 30 minutes, you're like, holy shit, this is tough.
Yeah.
But I think maybe in smaller doses, it could have been a little more successful. But that's neither here nor there. It's New Mutants 2020. I thought it sucked. It's a big pass. Don't really waste your time unless you're just morbidly curious or you have to see every superhero movie. What about you, Dustin?
Definitely a hard pass for me. I really, when they said this was going to be more of a horror movie than a superhero movie, I had some hope, but obviously it was very quickly steered away from that, and they kept this very small horror component almost as a freebie bad guy at the end, and then just added a giant bear and butchered thousands of years of Native American folklore. Yeah, I mean, if you just, like I said, if you got to watch every superhero movie, then you probably already fucking watched it. You might have even braved death and saw it in a theater. I don't know, but I would say not to waste your time or your money, because it was, as I said, incredibly boring knowing, okay, this is who's doing all this. This is boring. Like, I'm just gonna wait to the end, and it's probably gonna be boring too. And even not knowing that, it's still a fucking boring movie. So, just please don't bother. Just ask us to do an entire episode about Boom Boom, Dazzler, and Jubilee. So,
oh yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be super sick. And Puck, like, he shows up. He's there,
occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally. He's couch surfing, really, is what it is. He's just like, hey, ladies, I was in town. And they're just like, fucking Puck, you never leave town. What the fuck are you talking about? He's just like, I just like, fucking Sasquatch kicked me out. I got a place for, I gotta like sober up tonight on your couch. And they're just like, fuck, man.
He's a hockey team mascot, and he's traveling with the team, and he shows up in town.
He's like, we're playing the Kings, and they suck.
So
and our team sucks, so it's gonna be a long night, guys. Like, just let me sleep on your couch. So, also, who wants to do a line of coke with me? Puckster out.
Oh no, this guy's got to keep his job. He can't go risking it all.
Dude, how does he think he maintains being a fucking hockey mascot?
I just figure he just drinks the Bang all the time, and he doesn't sleep.
God, even the Bang all the time.
Hey man, kids are into the Bang.
Well, that'll do it. You can find us on social media at Us Versus Movies. You can find us on YouTube at Us Versus Movies. We thank you for listening. Give us a like, a subscribe, a comment. We appreciate all of that on social media and on anywhere you get your podcasts. That'll do it for us. Kevin, bid them adieu.
See you guys later.
I said adieu.